everybody, it's Calxiyn and Hunter.
Hey, fuck it, I guess we're like this
more. Are we gonna record
more.
like this now?
Yeah, why
okay,
not?
Great.
Let's just get a nicer view of the room.
Yeah, so, very quick, if you guys didn't see our video that I uploaded yesterday or today or whenever I uploaded
Computers bust, we're filming on an iPhone, let's skedaddle.
Yeah, well that's basically it.
As much as I'm sure you would like to monologue and cry
I'm not
about
going
it,
to. I'm just saying,
we got things
none of
to
our
do.
videos this week are gonna be edited. I don't care how y'all fucking feel about the sound, alright? I'm not happy right now.
The sound tape sounds alright. Oh, really? You're not happy?
No,
I didn't know.
No, I'm not.
You didn't spend like a 15-minute video talking about that not minutes ago.
So whatever y'all have to complain about, shove it for at least the next week. When you keep seeing us like this, criticize our quality when I got my computer back. Okay?
Which really, if anything, this has been an upgrade. I'm sorry.
Alright, whatever, Hunter. The iPhone is not... Anyways, you guys should support us on Patreon, because I'm gonna have to spend a lot of money soon. Anyway, so today we're gonna be talking about Neo, and we're gonna be talking about if Neo's return, lived up to the hype, basically. I think that it did and it didn't, and I'm gonna say why.
Alright.
I think that Neo has the same problem that maybe Adam and Raven had, where people hype them up for so long,
Not as bad as Adam.
Not as bad as Adam, but I feel like, okay, let's use Raven as an example, right? Like, everybody was like, ooh, Raven, is so mysterious, and we saw her for that 1 second, I wonder what her deal is, and then Volume 5, people say, wasn't the best volume, and that's where she was really showcased, right? So, I disappointed a lot of people. They didn't want what they got.
Big moments in Volume 5. Like, her fight with Cinder, those were,
well, I think it's the introduction, right? How she was introduced, or how she was presented.
In Volume 4, when she has the talk with Crow, those are highlights
of
those
I really liked
seasons.
that, but I think when people were like, oh, she talks like that, you know what I mean? How, I don't know how to explain this, but I think most people have problems with, lines that she said, when she was talking to, Yang or White, stuff like that, the bandit camp area, more so. Or, stuff like that. So it's whatever. But I'm just using her as an example. People build up an expectation for so long that I feel like with some people they are never going to be happy, right? You understand what I mean? And with Adam, it's sort of the same thing. I think Adam lived up to the hype for Volume 3, but then he didn't exactly turn out how people thought he was for the other couple volumes, and then people were like, well, Adam is shit. Whoops. And
I would argue that people have a bad, conception of Adam, but I've already talked about that.
Even the moon, right? People were disappointed with the Dark God breaking the moon because they want.
Stupid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, for some people, Neo's never gonna live up to the hype. Neo being reintroduced is never gonna live up to the idea they had inside of their head, because everybody has varying ideas.
So let's just move on from the soap-eating people.
Everybody has their own idea of what they want it to be, and you can't possibly have everybody have the same idea and make everybody happy if they all have different ideas, right? For me, I think it lived up to the hype. Hunter and I were pretty, happy with our, our reaction.
The fight scene. I liked how manic and fast-paced it felt.
Yeah.
I like how they
how she's smiling when she's fighting, her wearing Roman's
she looks
hat.
batshit crazy.
Yeah, and so
all very
I think for us
effective.
it definitely did, right? Because you really like Neo, right? Would you say Neo is your favorite character, or one of your favorite characters? I enjoy
Neo. I brought this up because I really liked her design. She had one of the best fight scenes, I think, in early RWBY in the second volume. She's mysterious, and I think that that mystery about her just kind of added to her allure. And I really dug her. I don't know if she's my favorite, because I like her as more of an idea than a character, but as she's more just this horrific force that people have to deal with.
Because, a lot of people were saying, wow, Hunter really likes Neo. When we did our reaction to the trailer, because her fighting Cinder was in the trailer, remember? And, you freaked out, I guess. And, a lot of people were like, I didn't even know that Hunter liked Neo. And I'm like, yeah, Hunter likes Neo.
Neo is why I started watching or reading RWBY fanfiction.
Really? Because you just wanted to see what people did?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
And so that's the other thing. So I think for us, her returning did live up, to the hype. For some people, they're not going to feel that way. The other thing is, a lot of people think Neo's an overrated character. Also, which I understand.
She's overrated because in the sense that she really hasn't done a whole lot. Like,
or
she doesn't
we don't
really
know
talk,
a whole lot about her.
Or she's expressed her... I mean, I would disagree with that she has expressed her personality in nonverbal ways.
Yeah.
Just because they haven't gone through, like a
Backstory?
Shakespearean, like, and I shall scream my motivation into the middle distance type situation.
Well,
Doesn't mean I think
yeah,
she's
I think people just need
not
more of
infer.
her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so people are like,
And
well,
even in
Neo's
that
overrated.
fight-
She only did those like 1-2 things, like before we saw her come back again, right? I think that's a fair argument to make, but I think that it's sort of like you said. I think that we like more like the idea of Neo and what could be done with her, rather than like Neo's
But
my favorite. She's the best. Everyone can go fuck themselves.
But honestly,
you know what
I
mean?
feel like
not
Neo
like
in that brief scene was everything you liked about her. She was cute. She was fucking crazy. She was in a good fight scene.
and we
had
do see her motivation.
You
now,
saw
that
her
she's going
motivation where
after
it was like a very intense scene where she
Roman.
shatters and it's like, where is she? And it builds that intensity where she's going to strike next. But instead of striking, you see her wearing Roman's hat, and so instead of like a physical attack, it's more of like instead of you're expecting a physical attack, and so you're on edge. But instead of the physical attack, you receive like the emotional reveal of how Neo feels about Roman and her motivation.
And she also has a song now. So I'm not going to talk about the song too much. I think the song's pretty hype.
I am the ice cream man.
No.
Okay.
The song lyrics are on my phone, which we have to use to record now, so I can't read them off word for word to you, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's basically...
We could film with my phone, and it could be even worse.
It's basically sort of like that Roman was the one thing in her life that gave her happiness, and now she's back to misery. Like, those are what the lyrics are conveying, and now she wants, like, revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's basically the song, because a lot of people were like, are we
know
sure
what?
it's not about
I
Cinder
think
because
she-
she's saying eye for an eye, and I was like, no.
I think
like,
she
listening
needs,
to the lyrics, it seems to be about Roman. Like,
I think
it seems
she
to point
needs
that
just
way.
a new, like, good mentor, and I think, you know, I'm looking forward to the Neo
She was
Cinder
sort of
tag
like,
team.
without a blank, without a friend, like, or whatever. Like, I don't remember how the song goes
want
anymore,
them to
but
get
those were
real
some
chummy.
lyrics. So, I'd like to do a lyric analysis when we get our computer back, because obviously, like, there isn't really a lot I can do unless I hand write them out and then read them, like, on a piece of paper. We're going back to, like, the dark ages over here.
Evidently.
But yeah, I think it's really hyped that now she has a song, because that could sort of clue people in on a lot of her motivations. And, like, obviously, like, people are like, hey, don't take the songs, like, super canonly, right?
And then you were like, super canonly!
They're just sort of, I see the songs as they enhance the material we've already gotten.
Fair enough.
Right? And so they're not necessarily gospel, but they are assisting. If that makes sense. They are story assisters, if you want to call it that, as lame as that sort of sounds. And I can't think of another show that sort of does that, but I guess, I don't know, it's almost like listening to cut songs, like, from musicals, or, like, from Disney movies. It's like, Proud of Your Boy from Aladdin is, like, a good idea.
Context,
Like, it's more,
yes.
it's more context to what was going on in the movie, but they cut it out. I think Proud of Your Boy is a really good example.
I've never heard of Proud of Your Boy.
Yeah, it's basically him being like, don't worry, Mom, like, I'm gonna make you proud even though you're dead. That's basically the song, right?
I just can't wait to be
That's the Lion King! How many different Disney songs are you trying to go into right
I
now?
just have to swing for the Disney.
Also, this is kind of interesting, and I guess this has nothing to do with Neo's hype, but now I like that we're gonna get speculation on which character she's based off now. Because obviously she's based off ice cream, right? But a lot of
How many fucking, like, his,
nonverbal fairy tale?
Characters
I mean,
have
Ari.
a pink,
Well,
white, and brown color motif?
no. But
Like,
you
I
could...
think she's based off of ice cream.
I know, but she could be based on multiple things, right, as they expand her character. So a lot of people, for example, mention The Little Mermaid. That's the obvious one, because she can't talk. A lot of people also mention The Swan Princess, and I thought that was kind of interesting, because Swan Princess is a ballet. It's also a Barbie movie, and it's also a other movie from another animation studio. There are lots of versions of it. But I think that's sort of interesting, like, as an interpretation, because I think there's a point where, like, she turns into a swan, and she's trying to get the attention of, like, the prince or whatever, and then the bad guy sends, like, one of his henchwomen in disguise as Odette, and, like, she's trying to be, like, a swan, and she can't talk, and she's trying to get his attention, and then she, like, dies because he professes his love for the fake one instead of the real one, and it's all very dramatic. But that's the whole, like, non-speaking sort of thing, which would be kind of an interesting interpretation, because then you kind of get, like, the black swan sort of idea, and that's, like, the revengeful Neo when you have the, like, the sweet Neo, you know what I mean? Like, that sort of contrast, but anyway. I'm just excited to see what people sort of think of with that now. But yeah, I think that she did live up to the hype for us. There are some people that are never going to be happy. I think that we need to see more of her in general, whether you think she's overrated, underrated, your favorite character, your least favorite. I feel like we just need more Neo in all of our lives.
She's always fun in fanfiction.
Yeah.
And God knows.
And I think she's fun right now, too. Like how she goes around Cinder and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that is all that we have to say. Mm-hmm. And so I hope that you guys enjoy. If you guys want to, you guys should support us over on Patreon. Because we're on my iPhone, which is put on 4 books and balanced on a lamp.
6,
and the lamp we usually make
on a pink fluffy
Disney
right
princess
here. You can't see it.
lamp.
It's fur. It's fluff. You can't see it, but basically, our camera's almost obscured by the fluffy base of a pink Pixar lamp.
We will see you guys later. Bye. You gotta turn it off, Hunter.
We're keeping this in, aren't we?
Yeah.
We can't edit it out.
We can't edit anything.
Wow.
No.